Okay, so we are live. Welcome back, everybody. Welcome back to Woodland Pools and to another Cardano Q&A live stream. So we are here on Monday evening. For those of you that have not caught on yet, we've switched over to, instead of doing videos on Sunday mornings, we're now doing them on live stream on Monday evening. So what we'll do is kind of kick off the week here, catch up with everybody who's here live, and go over. Perfect. So that's working. So we will go over usually just the stuff that happened over the past week. I was sick last week, so we have a couple of weeks worth of stuff to go over. If you are here live with us, let us know where you're joining from and any questions that you have. And then what we'll do is as we go through these different topics, we'll work the questions in as we go. With that, I don't think I missed anything else. Let's go ahead and get started. What we're going to cover today, what I'll also do is for those of you watching on the replay, I'm going to add chapters down below for the different sections that we're going over, so that way you can jump ahead to the different topics as we go through them. All right, so this week, what we're going to take a look at is Charli3 and their integration with Liquid. This came out a little while ago, but I wanted to talk about it. The SEC, some news with the news with the Treasury here. The SEC is coming up. This little Easter egg that is for the Bitcoin white paper. We'll look at that in a second. Lace is live on Mainnet. We have a couple of birthdays here, anniversaries for some projects that went live. Some big news with Book.io. If you may or may not have heard when Josh, the CEO, was on the Bad Crypto podcast. And then, of course, the big news that just came out with Bittrex and the SEC. And then I wanted to touch on consensus, which is right around the corner and coming up next week. So with that, let's go ahead and jump in. So I promised Damon I would cover this because I'm a big fan of the Charli3 project, and he reached out to me about 10 days ago at this point, asking if we would take a look at this because it is pretty exciting. And so Damon, this one's for you as promised. Here we are taking a look at the integration with Charli3 with Liquid Finance. So for those that remember, we've done a couple of videos on Charli3 already, and we did a good long interview with the two founders at the Cardano Summit, I think is when we sat down. Yeah, the Cardano Summit 2022. And we went over sort of where they were at and where they're planning on going moving forward. At the time, Charli3 was only publishing ADA USD to the chain. They were doing a free feed for that. And over the past, 6 months or so, they've been looking for launch partners for additional feeds they can go live with. And so this announcement just came out that Charli3 has their first integrator with Liquid Finance. So let's take a look here at some of the highlights. So the Liquid and Charli3 integrations, previously they already had ADA USD, but now this is a really cool one to see. Shen USD is now also going to be receiving continuous price data in a decentralized process to secure collateral, loan origination, and liquidations in the Liquid protocol. So a couple of things that are all put in here together. Liquid Finance we've not covered on the channel, but I should dig into them and what they're doing in terms of their lending that they're doing, their crypto lending. But Shen USD is from Cody Labs, the Djed and Shen. So Djed is the stable coin, and Shen is the paired coin, the reserve coin that works with the minting of Djed. Actually, this is probably a good time to link this. Let me see. Let's take a look at the latest we had here on Djed. So for those of you that want to get caught up on Djed, yeah, we did it when they were live. How's this being done here? Let me actually take this search back off because we covered them when they went live. So let me see if I can find this video quickly for those that want a reminder about how Djed works. Let's see. I was almost sure that we did a video on it when we went live. Oh, here we go. We did it right before they went live because we did the full video. That's what it was, yeah. So we did the full video showing how you can mint Djed and how the whole thing works. Yeah, so that's what that was. Okay, cool. So let me actually link you guys here. So this is when they were going live on testnet, but this is actually a really good walkthrough of everything about what Djed is, how it works, how you can mint some yourself, and how Djed and Shen work together. So let me go ahead and link that for those that are curious. Djed and Shen. Sweet. And I will also link these in the description below for those of you that are joining us on the replay. So don't feel like you have to find these videos yourself. I'll link them. Okay, so in any case, getting back to our news here. So Shen, which is the reserve pair for Djed, we now have a Shen USD feed being published by Charli3 on Liquid Finance. The second part of the announcement that came out that was cool is that, and we talked about this a little bit in the interview that we had with Damon and with the other co-founder, is that previously, like up until this point, Charli3 was using off-chain APIs to do all of their price aggregators. But now with the launch of the Shen ADA feed, they have a new capability to perform accurate CNT price aggregations using the Charli3 node network on chain. So that's really cool. I'd love to chat with Damon some more about some details on how this is all coming together. Maybe we can sit down. If you guys are going to be at any of the conferences coming up, let's sit down. It'd be really great to chat and do a follow-up on our conversation that we had before. So I wanted to make sure to cover this for everybody, just so we're aware that, you know, as we talked about in that interview, the notion of oracles on Cardano is really, really important because it gives projects not just a DEX like Liquid, but it gives any projects that need real-time feeds of things that are happening outside of the Cardano ecosystem, anything that's happening in the outside world. We need a way to get that information fed in to the blockchain to be able to use in smart contracts, and so we need oracles to make that happen. A long time before, there was an announcement about how IOG was partnering with Chainlink, but we really haven't seen anything come from that, and so Charli3 is the first and only oracle that we have on Cardano right now, and so every integration that they make with different partners on the blockchain is not only a big deal for the Charli3 project, but it's also a really big deal for the Cardano blockchain as we see these integrations build out, and it makes it easier then for other projects to use this information as it becomes available on the chain. So congrats to the Charli3 team. Keep us posted on things as they progress, and we will cover them here. So next, I wanted to go over this because I think, well, it's funny. I was planning on covering this anyway. This is from a little bit earlier this month, but I was planning on covering this anyway. And then, of course, there's the big bombshell news that came out about the SEC, and we'll get to that at the end of the video here, at the end of the stream. But if you all remember, maybe at this point, a little over a week ago, the U.S. Treasury made an announcement that DeFi, decentralized crypto markets, threaten national security. This was interesting to hear. So they were highlighting how they think that DeFi is used by illicit actors, scammers, North Korea, stuff like that. I mean, this is like, I mean, if you ask me, is clearly it's now becoming a very coordinated propaganda campaign by, unfortunately, the government that I live in and I'm a citizen of. A very clear propaganda campaign coming out from here because you can see the people in the U.S. government getting worried about the fact that this magic internet money is actually catching on and wanting to continue being the world reserve currency. And so this is the kind of stuff we're starting to see. I think what we're going to see more and more is this stronger pushback coming from governments, especially the U.S. government, and hopefully will we get, the pushback the other direction of people actually using it, solving real problems and real utility. So all the things we always talk about in the channel about the importance of utility and real projects, actually doing stuff, actually solving problems, this is going to become increasingly important moving forward, that we're not just all focusing our attention on the latest meme coin or, what is the next JPEG that's going to moon, but that we actually try and focus our attention on things that can solve real problems, our attention and our energy on how we can move all of that forward and put the entire ecosystem in a better place. So I just wanted to point this out. I think that this is, it's pretty baseless. If you look at any study done ever, and there was one, I wish, it just occurred to me, I should have linked it. There's one that came out right after this was announced, that the number one means of financial transaction by illicit actors still to this day is fiat and actually the US dollar. So this is nothing, right? I mean, in terms of the validity behind it, this is not true. Sure, maybe some DeFi is used by illicit actors, but way more is done with cash and fiat currencies. So this is just the American government pushing back and being afraid about where this all might go. So I wanted to point that out. But what I thought was a fun kind of balance to what we're seeing here is, I'm not sure if you all saw this, but I thought this was so cool. So somebody found this out. Let me see if I have a terminal here. Let me pull up a terminal. I want to show you guys this. What window did it open at? Are you hidden over here? Yeah, there it is. Okay, hold on a second. This is on my other monitor way over here. Hold on. Okay, I'm going to bring this over here. Sweet. Okay, so this is really cool. So somebody found this out just like a little over a week ago, that the Bitcoin white paper is hidden in every modern copy of macOS. I thought this was so cool. It has to over a bunch of different people to confirm. But long story short, you can check this for yourself. So I'm going to link this. I just think this is like so fun. Okay, so here we go. So anybody that's here live, you can check for yourself. If you're on Mac, try this out. Here is the article. And so what we'll do is we'll take a look at this together to see what they're actually asking us to paste into our terminal. Because I will say, as a general rule, you never, ever want to just copy and paste something you find on the internet into the terminal on your computer, because you have no idea what it is you're about to kick off and run. But let's take a look at what we're actually going to run here, and it'll become pretty clear. So we're going to call open on this directory, or rather on this path, system, library, image capture, devices, virtual scanner.app, contents, resources, and we're going to open this PDF. So we're not making any network calls. We're not connecting to any external sites. We're not doing a curl request or anything like that. We're literally just calling open on a file that's already on our computer. If you have a modern Mac, I have not done anything to prepare for this video other than just open up this article, and I'm going to copy this and paste it into the terminal. And when I do that, is it over here again? Where'd it go? Did it open up? Oh, here, of course, on the wrong monitor again. But check this out. So this just opened up on my Mac. Here is the Bitcoin white paper, Bitcoin, a peer-to-peer electronic cash system. So also, for those of you that have been curious to read the Bitcoin white paper and you're using a Mac, here is how you can do it. Just paste that in from this article, and you can literally see Satoshi's white paper on Bitcoin and how it was going to work when it all got started. So of course, the question is, why in the hell is this on every Mac? It looks like that this was for a virtual device called Virtual Scanner. They needed to do some kind of they wanted to have something saved as like a sample of what a virtual scan would be. And so whoever it was at Apple that had to decide what they wanted to use as the virtual scan, they decided to put the Bitcoin white paper. So the reason why I wanted to cover this is, one, because I think it's like so cool. This Easter egg has been sitting on this MacBook that I've had for like 6 years, and I didn't even know this was here. So for any of you that are doing this live, let me know if you tried out, if you also get it to pull up on yours, because I think this is so cool. And those in the replay, let me know as well. I just think this is so cool that it's on every modern Mac. And like I said, this one I've had for years, and I didn't even know it was here. And the reason why I wanted to point this out is because this is kind of what I'm getting at, is that like what we're going to see now is these two big forces pushing against each other, where you're going to have governments pushing back because they see a threat to their ability to control the monetary system and money flows. And then you're going to see just things like this, of just like regular people that just really, really appreciate what cryptocurrency is and what blockchain technology can do. And we're going to see more and more of this kind of stuff coming out. And it's going to be the clash of those two things that kind of dictates how we move forward. So I wanted to show you guys that. Yeah. Was Jobs Satoshi? I don't think so, but that is a fantastic, fantastic question. And let's pause it for a second. So Larry McGuire, hello from Southern California. What's going on, Larry? It is getting warm here in warm, sunny Colorado. I had to turn on the AC in my office here for the first time. But yeah, let us know for everybody else that's joining. We'll see more and more people coming in. Let us know where you're joining from and any questions that you have. And between topics, we'll kind of switch to whatever questions you guys have. So continuing on, we did a video a while back on Lace. Let me find that video. So for those of you that don't remember, Lace is IOG's light wallet solution. Here we go. This is when they were live on testnet. Copy link address. Here we go. This is when they were live on testnet. We did a full review of the Lace wallet. There you guys go. But Lace is now finally live on Mainnet. So there was this blog that was put out by IOG. Talk a little bit about sort of the core objectives of Lace. I wanted to show you guys this real quick before we take a look at the actual wallet. So the idea is for security, scalability, and quality assurance. The plan is for it to deliver fast transactions without compromising security. So this here, the without compromising security, you know, the idea is for all light wallets to be able to do this. But what I'm really looking forward to seeing with Lace is that IOG is going to use it as the testing ground for all of their new features that come out on chain that are put in place to enable light wallets. So for example, right now you kind of have to make this choice between, do you want to have a full node wallet like Daedalus, which is fully trustless and it verifies every single transaction on the chain for itself? Or do you want to do a light wallet, which is much faster, has no syncing times like Daedalus has, but when you submit transactions and also the transaction history of your balance, you have to kind of trust whatever node it is that is the backend for that wallet that's being used. And so currently there's that trade-off that you have to make. But with Mithril, which is coming in the future, ideally Mithril should be happening this year, according to Charles. But with Mithril, the idea is that we're going to have secure checkpoints. And with the secure checkpoints, you can have a light wallet like Lace that can, instead of having to download the entire ledger, can just download the checkpoints and then just have to only sync from the latest checkpoint to the most recent time. And the idea with those checkpoints is that they're cryptographically verifiable and they're equally secure, but it comes without the huge weight of having to download, sync, and validate the entire chain. What I'm excited to see about Lace is that since Mithril is one of the big deliverables that IOG is coming out with this year, they've made it very clear that their goal is to have Mithril built into the Lace wallet. So I would expect that what we're going to see is one of the very first light wallets to utilize Mithril will be Lace, and we'll be able to see that merging of those ideas where we no longer have to have a trade-off between assurance of all transactions and the speed of a light wallet. Mithril ideally is going to bring both. The other piece that I'm really looking forward to with Lace is something I actually asked Charles on a live stream that happened probably about a month ago at this point, is I'm expecting that they will also be able to be one of the first wallets to show true partial delegation. So from your wallet, without having to make multiple accounts, how you can delegate to multiple stake pools. So right now, for example, if you wanted to do partial delegation, you'd have to do something like what we show in our videos here. For example, here we go. So this one, delegating to multi-pool with Typhon wallet. So the way that like it's done in currently, like in this video. Oh, come on. Working with here. All right. Is this the? Yeah. Okay. Cool. Perfect. Copy link address. So this is how we delegate currently to multiple wallets. Multi-pool delegation currently. Okay. And the way that we do this right now, let me actually pull this up and show you guys. If you don't remember, the way that it works right now for multi-pool delegation is what you actually need to do. Man, this is slow today. Where are you guys joining from while this is loading up? Hopper Road's joining us from Michigan. Who else? Oh, hold on. Let me mute this guy. Cool. Yeah, so the way that this works is... Here we go. So the way we do this today... Man, this is going slow. I think it's almost time for a new computer. Okay. So is that we do multiple accounts, right? So we'll see here in a second. I'm about to make a new account. Let's pull this up here. This is, so this is the Typhon wallet. Yeah, so here's account 1. I'm going to click on here. I'm going to switch to account number 2. And then so you have these multiple accounts that are sitting on your wallet. And then from there, what you would need to do is send some funds. So I'm going to copy the address here. Send some funds from account 1 to account 2. And then use those funds on account 2 and then delegate from that point. So it's kind of a cumbersome process. What we're expecting to see with Lace is the idea is that all within the same wallet, all you do is just set what percentages of the total that's sitting in that wallet and what pools you want to delegate to, and then you're just good to go. So anyway, so I wanted to take a look at that. So I went ahead and reinstalled Lace. For those of you that were using it on testnet, let me know if you ran into the same problem. I had an issue where trying to load the testnet wallet back up that I'd been using gave me some problems, so I had to just get rid of the whole browser extension and reinstall it. If you want to install Lace, you can go to lace.io, and then from there you can click on install the browser extension. So let me go ahead and let's take a look at this together. Use my Ledger Nano X, my Woodland Pools, Ledger Nano X. So I'm going to go ahead and click on Connect Hardware Wallet. So here it said there's limited support for dApp connection. So their idea with Lace is they're trying to do this in an agile method. So they're doing iterative releases. So versus waiting for everything They're doing, just like new features released continuously. So right now, the current version, it says it doesn't support signing transactions through the dApp connector, but once you go inside, it tells you actually that it is in beta. So this actually might be outdated. So let's go ahead and click connect. You need to scroll down here and read and accept the terms of service. So we'll accept the terms of use. Okay, so here, if you want, you can give them a, if you want to help them with bug fixing and error collection stuff, they won't get your private keys or your IP address or your personal data, just pseudonymous analytics info. This is up to you if you want to opt into this to help them and their developers for like crash reports and stuff like that. I'm going to skip right now. So I'm going to click on Ledger, click on my paired Ledger Nano X, and let's go ahead and pair this. So here's what I was talking about. Right now, to choose what account you want to connect, let's just click on our default account number 1. And let's call this Ledger, Woodland Pools Ledger Nano X, and create. Cool. And if you want to follow them, here's their Twitter account, YouTube, and Discord. So let's go to my wallet. I also found, so again, remember, with a light wallet, this needs to now sync with the backend. And then from there, that's how it's going to get all the transactions and everything up to date. It's not doing it on its own. So that syncing is going to take a second. Here's what I was telling you guys about. The dApp connector is now in beta. So it's available, but they're ironing out the kinks. So yeah, okay. So got it while they work through that. I found that the loading of the activity takes a minute. So let's let this load up, and then we'll move on and we'll come back to it. So with that, talking about projects, I wanted to give some shout outs here. A couple of anniversaries happened this past week. NMaker is now 2 years ago that NMaker first went live. For those of you that have been following the channel for a while, you probably remember NFTmaker.io. We made a video on NFT Maker about over a year ago. We made a video on NFT Maker. Since then, it has evolved to become NMaker. And so shout out and congrats to Patrick on all the great work that they're doing. NMaker is one of my favorite projects. And they did a birthday live stream. So if you guys want to check that out, you can follow along. Similarly, last week, another anniversary, 1 year since Wing Riders, the DEX went live. So if you remember, we did this video at the end of last year, or rather, yeah, at the end of last year when we were doing the recap. If you remember, about a year ago from where we are now, a little over a year ago, we didn't have any DEXs. So MuesliSwap had just gone live, and then SundaySwap was about to launch. And that was it. So all the big names that we see now in the DEXs that are available to us, including Wing Riders, all have gone live over the past 12 to 15 months. So it's been a huge year in terms of things coming out and projects building out on the Cardano ecosystem. And so big congrats to Wing Riders on their 1 year anniversary. It's really cool to see these projects that come out. There's a lot of hype behind them. They keep building, and seeing that, over this 1 year milestone, that things are continuing to build and grow out. So you can see here, for example, here's their milestones and stuff like that, and I'll link this down below for those that want to follow along and see all the different stuff that they've been doing and what they're planning on doing over the next year. They also have a 1 year on Mainnet Medium article that they linked out. But more broadly than just these two projects, I just think it's really cool to see how many things not only have been going live, but have been maturing and building out and growing. And it's going to be the continued growth and launching of these different projects, and as they all start working together. For example, to link back to what we started the conversation with, Charli3 and Liquid Finance, it's when all these integrations start happening between and across products and projects, that's when we're really going to start seeing that confluence and things really start resonating in the network. So let's see who we got here. So Nico is joining us from Whitepaper, California. And yes, hey, Accelerate, good to see you, man. Happy Monday. Always good to see you on the live stream. It's kind of cool to see how when, for a while we did live streams on Wednesdays, and then we were just doing only the edited short videos on Sundays, and now switching the live streams to Mondays. It's kind of cool to see how different people are available different nights, and sort of who's able to show up regularly on different nights. So good to see you again, Accelerate. Wonder when the second NMaker airdrop is. Yeah, that's a good question. I'm not up to date with that. If anybody knows that's here with us right now, or in the comments, let me know. If not, I can take a look and we can try and cover that next week. What 56 Hope Road is talking about is that there was an airdrop for those who had used the NMaker platform. If you've used it to mint sell or interact with any NFTs through their platform, they did an airdrop where they sent you some NMaker tokens. I'm nearly certain we did a video about that. Let me see if I can find it for you guys. Yeah, no, that was the year. Let's see. Let's do a search for NMaker and see what we can find here. But yeah, I'm almost certain I did, because I did a video, yeah, showing how I got mine. So let's do a video, search for NMaker here. That was the full walkthrough. Let me take a look, and I'll have to find it, and I'll link in the description. But there was instructions on. That's a book.io. Yeah, there was instructions on how to claim your NMaker tokens. I'm not sure where that went, but yeah, I don't know when their next airdrop's going to be. That's a good question. Okay, so with that, let's check out our Lace wallet now that everything's loaded up. So here we see our transactions have loaded up. We can see our tokens. These are NFTs. This is, I'm not sure why this shows up like this. So there's obviously still some stuff they're working through. But here we can actually see our NFTs. Let's give that a second. Cool. All right. While this is loading up, some stuff that I like too, or clearly the goal of what the Lace wallet is trying to do, is they're trying to make it approachable to beginners, so that people that are new to Cardano ecosystem don't feel intimidated, and they sort of have a nice clean interface and can feel comfortable learning little by little. So you see here right on the right is a little helper thing that tells you what are NFTs, how do you buy one, and that kind of stuff. So pretty cool how, like, along the way, let's see, do that for every section. Yeah, awesome. So every section that you go to, there's some little FAQ and videos on helping you to do stuff for each of the different sections of the wallet. So I really like that. That'd be really cool if the other light wallets started incorporating this, where you have nice little helper things everywhere, because, you know, not everyone's just going to be a power user. So anyways, let's take a look at one of these NFTs here. Open up Hamlet. Let's see what that looks like. Yeah, great, cool. So I can see the policy ID, the asset ID. So this is again a request for the Lace team. This would be really nice if this should be clickable. Literally just drop in an anchor tag and just make it clickable, so you can view this media URL and see the actual IPFS image. But in any case, here is the metadata that resides in it. The website, again, this should be clickable. They're working through this stuff. That's probably not necessarily the top of their priorities list, but, you know, it would be nice if we had those nice little niceties to go along with the user friendliness and stuff. So the staking section, this is what I was talking about before, where right now we can see my Woodland Pools Ledger Nano X is delegated to ASPEN Pool by Woodland Pools. And actually, it's a good time to say, if you appreciate what we do here and you want to support the channel, the best way to do that is to delegate to our stake pool, the ASPEN Pool. Really appreciate it. And here you go. And if you do that, you can join one of the 826 delegators who have joined us and been around for a long time. And you see some of our biggest delegators. We're now in Epic 405. Some of our biggest delegators have been with us for 70, 80 epics. So come join. The water's fine. We're not going anywhere. And if you appreciate this kind of information, the educational content that we do and the work that we put in to help secure the chain and educate people and help us all grow together, come and join us at Aspen. So with that, yeah, so what I want to see here with the Lace wallet is ideally what we'll have is the ability to, like, on the side here, this is what they showed in their demo in, like, Cardano Summit 2021. On the side here, there was a nice little interface where you could click on for example, this wallet has 718 ADA. You could choose what percentage of that 718 ADA you want to delegate to different pools, and then you could do native multi-pool delegation straight from the same account in the same wallet without having to do any kind of splitting stuff up. And then, of course, if you just wanted to change those percentages, you just change them around, and it would just be a submission to the blockchain. It kind of handles itself. So that's where I really want to see the Lace wallet going. There's obviously a few little things to work through. Another one, let's see if they did this. Another one that I had taken a look at when we first did it. Let's see if they did it. Oh man, it was blue. I thought I was gonna do it. Guys, Lace wallet team, if you're gonna provide the transaction hash anyway, make this clickable. So when you go to so have it take you to Cardano Scan or C Explorer, or if you want, to some IOG Explorer. But this is something that every other light wallet right now supports. The IOG native wallet should be able to support this. The idea is that, of course, if you can get a nice little summary of what the transaction was, but you should be able to just click it and have it automatically open for you a blockchain explorer that lets you dig into more detail, take a look at the UTXOs and stuff like that. So that's my biggest peeve right now, and it's very simple for the Lace team. Please make the linkable things linkable and clickable. I would really appreciate it. And I promise that if and when you do, I will do a shout out for when it's done. I'm not just pointing it out because it needs work done. When it's done, I will call it out and show everybody that it's working, because that's a nice to have. Okay, so with that, I wanted to next, if you guys have not seen on the Bad Crypto podcast, Josh, the CEO of Book.io, again, full disclosure, I am such a big fan of Book.io. About 2 months ago, 3 months ago, I applied, and 2 months ago, I started working with them. It's an awesome project, a great team, and was my favorite project on Cardano for a long time, and I'm fortunate enough to be working on that team. Josh, the CEO of Book.io, was on the Bad Crypto podcast, and he was talking with those guys about the project, what it's all about, and what is coming up in the future. So it was pretty cool seeing these guys kind of go through and look at the project. Let me mute this. And actually, well, let me see. Let me pull this up because, of course, well, I don't even do it on this. Let's see. Okay, let me see if I can pull it up on the side here, and I'll show you guys what it looks like. But because I'm constantly like switching between mainnet and testnet and stuff. But let me pull this up on the side here. So while that's going, it was really cool to see Josh on here. Let me find him. So those who don't know, there's Josh. Cool. Is the CEO of Book. This sweet new recording studio that was set up at the office. It looks so good. I will say that it's a pretty cool vibe you got going there, Josh, with wood paneling and the blue lights in the background. I wonder where you got that really cool idea from. So let's go ahead and get signed in here. I'm signing in on another screen here to my Book.io account. But anyway, so Josh was going over a lot of the talking points that maybe some of you are not familiar with about the project that I think is really exciting. So the first one is the idea that you truly own your books. You know, we all know the notion of what it means to have a physical asset, to own a physical book, and you buy it. Here we go, cool. So this is the live mints that are available right now, and these are the things that you can buy on Book.io right now. You can come to your library and it loads up your books. So this is kind of a cool thing. Okay, I'll show this. So one of the things that we were working on is adding the notion of user preferences to make this easier for people as you're moving through your account, to be able to take your preferences with you from one account to the other. Yeah, it takes a second because I have a lot of books. I've been a big fan of the project for a while, and I've been buying a lot of books. So let that load up actually here. I'm going to go to settings. So one of the things that we started introducing that we're going to continue building out is the ability for you to set some user preferences and have that follow you across devices. So right now, for example, I have my language set to Spanish, but you can switch it to English, and then you see here that just like the whole app then switches languages along with you, and then you can sign out and sign back in, or have this persist across devices. So that's kind of just like a fun thing that I was able to build in because I thought it was fun, and the team is cool and let me work on that. So that was fun. But we have a lot of other cool stuff coming up. But in any case, the idea of Book.io being that we all know what it means to like physically own a book, and if you buy it, then when you're done with it, you can like give it to somebody else, or you can sell it or whatever else. But in the digital realm, we've never really had that, right? So like we've had that, for example, you can, like on an Amazon Kindle or on an Apple book or whatever else, you buy a book, kind of, but you don't really buy it. What you basically have is a perpetual lease just to view it, right? But if you think about it, if either you or the author or the publisher get into any kind of a dispute with this, whatever company it is that you're doing the thing from, it'll just get yanked, and you'll no longer have access to it because you never actually owned it. So the cool thing about what we're doing at Book is the idea that introducing the real ownership, the real notion of true ownership of digital assets. Because when you pair these digital assets with the blockchain, these books that I'm viewing right now through the Book.io reader are what's actually sitting inside of my Woodland Pools wallet. It's the same ones that when we came and looked at the Lace wallet, when I looked at my NFTs, it's these same books that are residing here. So I've got the NFT for the proof of ownership, But then there is the true decentralized encrypted asset that's wrapped all the way around that, that then actually makes it possible for me to go in and read these books, not just look at the cover art, but then actually read the contents inside of them. And then when I'm done, I could send them to somebody else. I could sell them on a third-party exchange. All the things that I could do with a physical book, I can now do with a digital book. So I think it's a really, really cool project. I think it's, in my opinion, one of the best immediate problem-solving use cases on Cardano. I know a lot of other people, including Cardano Whale, feel the same way. And actually, the reason why I wanted to bring this up was because at the very end of the video, Josh kind of snuck in here when he was doing sort of his goodbye here. Let me find where it was. It kind of doesn't matter because you can't really hear what he's saying anyways. But here at the very end, he kind of snuck in something that hadn't been publicly announced before, that aside from the partnerships that Book.io has with Bertelsmann, which is the investment arm that owns, for those of you that know Penguin Random House, the huge publishing company, Bertelsmann owns them. And then also Ingram Publishing. So when you order a book on Amazon, like a physical book, and it gets sent to your house, there's a really good chance that Ingram are the ones who actually manufactured that book, the cover, packaged it, and sent it to your house. So Bertelsmann and Ingram were already investors in Book.io because they really believe in what the project is doing. So here you have huge legacy companies seeing Book.io and thinking it's really cool and investing in it. But then additionally, what Josh snuck in here at the very end was that actually Mark Cuban was one of the first investors in Book.io. And that's been kind of under wraps for a while now, but now sort of it's out there and everybody knows about it, that Mark Cuban was one of our earliest investors and has also provided a lot of good guidance and introductions for the guys along the way, for Josh and Ben, the two founders. So I just wanted to point that out for those that are following the channel because they know of and like Book.io. If you didn't already hear about that, you might have, but you probably did. It was pretty big in the OG community. It's really exciting news. Really glad that you guys finally get to know about it. That pesky NDA, I couldn't tell anybody when I found out about it. Yeah, so really exciting stuff. Yeah, I'm really excited to be working there. Huge fan of the project and really excited to continue building the future of books and letting you guys know what we're doing as we do it. So cool. So with that, we've got two other things that I wanted to go over. And actually, you know what? Let's pause here for a couple of comments and questions. So Hope Road agrees that Book.io is a sweet project. I think so too. Yeah, Vic, that Gutenberg Bible is looking good right now. So for those that don't know, the Gutenberg Bible was the first book that was minted on Book.io. That's actually this book that's behind Josh right here. And there's a couple of cool perks that come with it. If you have a Gutenberg Bible, a few things. This is all Ben has been doing a great job with this, Ben and Josh, but Ben's the one like driving this community stuff. Has been making, if you have a Gutenberg Bible, you have access to an OGs only, the original Gutenberg holders channel in Discord. They do special community stuff. For example, there was an OG only AMA that just happened last week. But also too, when you go to Mintabook, actually this is a pretty cool thing to show. When we go to Mintabook, you can see also, like for example, the Taternomicon. You can see here that there's usually a discount. Oh yeah, these are the ones that I bought. These are mine. Okay, and these are actually mine. And this one here, for example, this is another cool thing. This one, the Taternomicon number 59, this is a 1 of 1. So this is the only book with that cover. And when we come out with Mint and Print, where you can actually get a physical copy of your book sent to your house, I can order this book that'll have this cover sent to my house with the number 59 on it. And even if everybody else prints all of their copies of this book, mine will be the only one in the world that has this cover. So I just think that's super cool. But anyway, so you can see here that if you have the OGBookClub, if you hold a Gutenberg Bible, you can get a discount on most books that get published. So that's pretty cool. And so yeah, as Vic said, the Gutenberg Bible is looking pretty good right now. So yeah, really exciting times. A really fun time to be part of the Book.io community. Accelerate says Cody is getting some market action lately. Djed listing on Binance. I don't know. So are you asking, or did you hear about that? I think part of what was happening with Cody and their price going up, I saw a tweet by Cardano Whale. I'm not going to try and pull it up because my computer's really lagging right now. But I saw Cardano Whale mentioned that there was, I think it was on Liquid. Oh, yeah, I think it was on Liquid. There was like a really big deposit of a bunch of Djed or Shen, I forget. But there was a really big deposit of really big deposit of Shen on liquid finance, all from one wallet. And so I think it's that kind of stuff where they're getting like just some big moves of people putting a lot of money into it. And so I think people are getting excited about Cody, because it's bringing up the TVL, the total value locked, on the Cardano blockchain, as we start seeing people depositing large amounts of the stable coin and the reserve coin into these DeFi loan contracts. So yeah, pretty cool stuff. All right, so then from all this good news, I had to point this out because this just came out today, today on Monday. This was absolutely huge news. The SEC sued Bittrex, but in order to sue them, they had to say what it was that Bittrex was doing wrong, right, in order to merit the lawsuit. And in the description of the lawsuit, the SEC labeled Algorand and 5 other tokens as securities in their lawsuit. So this is really bad news in terms of, for example, let me be clear. I don't think it's really bad news in terms of like the existential nature of blockchain. Yeah, okay, cool. Sorry, I got an error here. I want to make sure. Let me know if you guys, if it's lagging for you, if you can't see me okay, but I think I'm okay here, but let me know. I don't think this is really bad news in terms of the existential nature of blockchain. I think it's really bad news in terms of sort of like the rough road ahead that we're going to have to deal with of, unfortunately, the American government right now, once again, same as sort of what we were talking about up here, about the American government kind of not making things any easier for the adoption of crypto, and deliberately so. So anyways, so we see that the SEC was sued Bittrex. And the crux of their complaint against Bittrex is that the platform failed to register with the watchdog as an exchange, broker-dealer, or clearing agency, a requirement for offering securities to customers in a manner regulated by the Securities and Exchange Act. So they were saying that they were illegally selling securities. Sorry, let me hide these comments here. Illegal selling securities. But so in order for that to be true, come on. In order for that to be true, the SEC needed to establish that at least one of the tokens made available by Bittrex is indeed a security. And so, although Gary Gensler made the broad statement that it applies to everything but Bitcoin, they specifically called out 6 coins in this, and those were OMG, Dash, Monolith, Naga, NGC, Real Estate Protocol, and Algorand. The biggest one on here is clearly Algorand, and this is not a great sign for how things are going to go over the short term here, because if these are listed, then I don't know how many other non-Bitcoin coins are going to be able to not get in the crosshairs of this stupidity. So we're going to have to see how this all goes. So this actually makes it very timely, the kind of stuff that Charles has been working on for a while. Let me see if I can find this. Ooh, can I search here? There was I bet you I can find it here. Charles recently was talking about the funding of the Edinburgh Decentralization Index. Let's see if I can find this. IOG Academy. But this is worth taking a second here because it's very relevant to what's going on right now. Ouroboros, M Labs, Hydra, primitives. I think it was one of the first things that came out this year. Mithril we were just talking about. Custom sidechains. Okay, so let's then look at the end of 2022. December. Oh, fine. I'll search for it. I think it was called the Edinburgh Decentralization Institute. Let's see. So basically, IOG and Charles funded this research group. Yeah, here we go. It was in November when this came out. We were almost there. We almost got there. So the University of Edinburgh and IOG introduced the Edinburgh Decentralization Index. So the idea of this is some money that was bestowed to the university, and they're going to do their own independent analysis of, I don't know how many they're going to do, but like the top however many chains, and rank them in terms of decentralization. I think everybody expects Bitcoin to be very near the top, if not number one. But the idea, though, is that from there down, okay, well, then who is from 2 onwards the most decentralized chains? And then the goal is that from there, use hopefully to be able to like steer regulation and stuff towards using more quantitatively fact-based decision making in terms of, okay, these are securities and these are not, and having decentralization be a big part of that conversation. So this is very timely that this has been going on now for about 4 or 5 months, because we're going to see more and more of this kind of stuff. So really, really disappointing to see this, and unfortunately, I think we're going to see more, not less, of this kind of stuff throughout this year. But I am cautiously optimistic that we will come out the other side. I just think we're going to have to like deal with this governmental level, institutional FUD, if you will. All right, let's check out some comments here, and then we'll take a look at one more thing, and then we'll head out. But let's see what we got. Vic. By the way, Vic, I didn't say hello. Good to see you again, man. Always a pleasure. It's yeah, Vic, for those that don't know, works with NMaker. I don't know how long you've been with us here, Vic, but a little while ago we did a shout out and a happy birthday to NMaker. Big fan of the project, one of my favorite projects in the Cardano ecosystem. So thank you, Vic, and everybody on the NMaker team for all the work that you do. Really, really cool project. So yeah, OMG was the layer 2 for Ethereum. I know, man, it's crazy how those layer 2s kind of come and go. So that is a weighted question. My thoughts on NFTs. That is I have a lot of thoughts on NFTs. So this could be the whole conversation, but I'll just say this. I think the notion of NFTs, of what we have thought of them for a long time leading up to now, has been actually a conflation of 3 different things. If you think about, for example, NFTs, now it's getting better, but for a long time it was just an NFT is like a picture of a monkey and that's it, right? If you think about it, that's really 3 different concepts wrapped into one. The first is the concept of ownership of a thing. The second is the immutability of that thing, that it's never going to change. And the third is that it is some kind of art, like an image, in this case, a picture of a monkey. And so when you were buying a Bored Ape on Ethereum or any of the projects on Cardano, what you were buying, what we were calling just an NFT, was sort of the intersection of these 3 different concepts. And what you were buying was ownership of a picture that you didn't expect to change. But if you think about it, all 3 of those things are completely different concepts, and they don't necessarily need to be related together. At its root, and this is something actually that Patrick from NMaker was the one that helped me finally really understand, at its root, an NFT, all it really is, the only thing that it has to be, is proof of ownership of a thing. That's it. Everything else is optional in terms of what that NFT can be, but the only thing an NFT is at its core is just proof of ownership of a thing. And the reason why this can change is, if you think about it, let's look at that example that we had where we said proof of ownership of a thing that doesn't change, that is a picture of something and doesn't change, right? If you think about it, look at book.io. When you buy a book on book.io, you have proof of ownership of a thing, but that thing isn't necessarily just a picture, it's an entire book, right? And so that already we've now separated the concept of just being a picture. Now it's ownership of a book, and this can be anything too. You could have ownership, a deed to a house, a title for a car. It can be, an NFT can serve as a way for a digital identity, can work with digital identity. It can be like your diploma for graduating from your college. So there right there is looking at the concept of how what the thing represents. Doesn't have to be just a picture, it can be anything. But then if we even look at that third one that I said, the immutability of it, that it doesn't change, even that is not necessarily always a desirable thing. Look at, for example, Space Buds is a good example. Barry Ailes said, okay, well, you know what? We found out that the art that was used for the original one, the guy who he hired as an artist was doing like a lot of like copying of other stuff. So let's change that so it's the same project, but the artwork can change. So he introduced SIP68, which allows now for this third thing that we were saying, that you can actually change attributes about the NFT. And so the cool thing with that is that now you have projects like Saturn NFT. What they're doing is, it's a competitor to NMaker, but what they're doing is they're enabling it that what you can do is you can go onto that website and you can make SIP68 enabled NFTs that enable, if you think about it, the idea of like leveling systems you can do for games. So think about, for example, an NFT for a game. Now again, those 3 things. Your NFT could be proof of something, a character or some kind of an item or something in the game. what it could represent could be a visual representation. It could be a picture or something. But the cool thing is that if you don't make it immutable and you make it that it can change, then now what you can do is, as your character levels, this thing that you're proving ownership of, you can have these attributes change, and then you can have this leveling mechanism, which could potentially also change what the image is of the item that you're holding, or the ship that you're flying, or the car that you're driving, and stuff like that. So in terms of what NFTs are and what I think about them, I think that we are just getting started and understanding what NFTs are and what they can be used for. We can have a much longer conversation about sort of their overarching utility, but it's a really, really cool and brand new area in the blockchain space. Even though, ownership of pictures of a monkey that don't change has been around now for maybe almost a year, people really understanding what else NFTs can be used for is, I think, just now starting to really emerge and sprout, and I'm really excited to see where that goes. All right, so Gensler labeled OMG as security enforcement action on Bittrex. Yeah, we were just talking about that when we were going through this guy. Yeah, this video here. That was one of the ones that he called out. Yeah, I'm surprised Solana's not on there either. And honestly, this is he said on here we go. This is a non-exhaustive list, so I'm sure we're going to see a lot more coming from that. That does not surprise me at all. I know that you guys are always on top of things, and that's what I said. That's why I like NMaker as a project. Just right now, I know that Saturn NFT is doing it today. But yes, I'm not surprised at all that you guys have this on your short-term roadmap. And actually, I think maybe what we'll do is when you guys come out with SIP68 support, it's overdue to do a SIP68 video. And so I'll kind of do a video showing you guys and NMaker and Saturn and how SIP68 is going to work. Oh, is there a testimony tomorrow? I did not realize that. Thank you for letting me know. I will watch that as well. And then how about next week when we all get together on Monday, we can see how that conversation went. And yeah, man, I am not super thrilled with where the United States is positioning itself with this stuff. It's kind of a bummer. Okay, so with that, that's kind of a bummer. But the last thing that I wanted to talk about is consensus is next week. It's going to be Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday of next week. For those of us peasants that can only afford the regular ticket, I'm just going to be there Thursday and Friday. But if any of you live in the Austin area or you're going to be going to Consensus, please let me know. Reach out on Twitter or in the comments down below or something. Twitter is probably the best way, and actually it's probably a good time to say. If you're not following us on Twitter, you should be, because unfortunately, I am now on Twitter all the time. So this Twitter account for Woodland Pools is the only social media that I have, and it got me good. I'm on it all the time. That's how I got to know people like Vic and Patrick and the dudes at Book.io. So I'm on Twitter pretty regularly. Man, this is slow today loading stuff up. Let's give this 1 second here so I can show you guys what we normally got going on. But yeah, so follow us on Twitter. Send me a DM or comment in the post for this video if you're going to Consensus. I would love to meet up with some of you guys in person, and if you're in the Austin area. This really makes you wait for it. Say SIP68 3 times fast. I know. This is, okay, ready? So I'll do it if you do it. I have no proof that you did it. But yeah, SIP68, SIP68, SIP68. I nailed it. I did it 3 times. Did you? Financial Services Committee at 10 a.m. Cool, man. Thank you. I did not know that. I'm going to check that out tomorrow. And then when we all get back together next Monday, we can talk about how that has gone. So, yeah. So here we go. Sweet. Finally. Man, this is like dial-up over here. So yeah, follow us on Twitter at Woodland Pools. The normal kind of stuff that we'll cover is updates on the stake pool if you're a delegator or if you're thinking of being one, announcements about videos and live streams like this one. Here, for example, retweeting stuff from other people like Coin Bureau, who's a really great account if you don't follow them. Stuff about development. And then there's also for those of you, with the Woodland Pools theme, for those of you that enjoy the outdoors, let me see if this will pull up here. We'll leave it on a fun note. So yeah, so while this is pulling up, coming out of Consensus next week, if you're in the Austin area, let me know and let's meet up. That would be really fun. If there's anybody from any of the different projects that we talked about who's going to be at Consensus, I'd love to see you guys there. Also, The Book.io team is going to be there, and Josh alluded to this in the Bad Crypto podcast. But for those of you that are Book.io fans, there's going to be a really big announcement at Consensus about our 4th blockchain that we're going live with. Right now, we are live on Cardano, Ethereum, and Polygon. We're going to be announcing a 4th blockchain that we're going live on, and that is going to launch at Consensus. So that's pretty cool. Really pumped about that. We're all doing a lot of hard work to get that ready. So yeah. Come hang out in Consensus. Let's see each other and have fun. Hey, you just followed us on Twitter. There we go. Thanks, Tommy. I appreciate that. Here. And so what we'll do is, on our way out here, let's I'll show you guys. So this is the other stuff. So we post stuff about Cardano, about blockchain, news that's going on, stuff about the stake pool. But I'll let you guys go with this if it decides to play for me here. This is the other stuff that I like posting. For those of you, if you enjoy touching grass or other nature-related things that is touchable. Oh no, go. I normally post like whenever there's like I really like being outside here in Colorado, and I always just post any beautiful stuff that I come across. That works with our Woodland Pools theme. Let's see if this will load up for us here. Ah, there we go. Cool. This is probably super laggy for those of you watching it, but you can check this out for yourself. This is a video from Winter Park this weekend, where there was 6 to 12 inches of snow everywhere, and I just had an absolute blast just cruising down this run by myself. It's honestly one of the most beautiful experiences I've had in Colorado, and I just love sharing this kind of stuff with you guys because we talk about so much about blockchain and Cardano and stuff like that. It's cool to also share the simple stuff when we get outside and kind of get our heads out of just thinking about blockchain all the time. So anyway, with that, hey, network with entrepreneurs, welcome. You made it just in time. And with that, I will say, for those of you that are just now joining us, or those of you that have stuck around until the end, we went almost a full hour today. For those of you that are still with us here, please hit the thumbs up on your way out the door. Share this video with friends. If you want to support the channel, the best way that you can do so is by delegating to the ASPEN stake pool. Thank you so much. Oh, Vic. Oh, you're teasing me. What's the best thing about living in Colorado? I can go on about this for a while. How about this? How about if you join us next week? I'll pull up some good pictures and we'll talk about this more next week. Thank you, everybody, for being here. If you want to support the channel, the best way you can do so is by delegating to the ASPEN stake pool. If not, follow us on Twitter, subscribe on YouTube, give it a thumbs up if nothing else. Thank you guys so much. This is always a pleasure and so much fun. And if nothing else, we'll do this next week at 7 o'clock Eastern, 5 o'clock in warm, sunny Colorado, 11 p.m. UTC. Thanks, everybody. Have a great night. We'll see you next week. Bye.